Rome, the city of power, glory, and betrayal. On March 15th, 44 BC, one of the most famous assassinations in history took place inside the Roman Senate. One man was the most powerful figure in Rome. The other was someone he trusted deeply. And the question that has echoed through centuries, why did Brutus kill Caesar? Was it betrayal, or was it an act of patriotism? Julius Caesar was not born a king. He was not even born rich. He came from a respected Roman family, yes, but one that had lost much of its power. From a young age, Caesar learned a brutal truth about Rome. Power is not inherited. It is taken. As a young man, Caesar survived political purges, exile, and constant threats to his life. At one point, pirates kidnapped him. Instead of begging for mercy, he laughed at them and promised he would return to crucify them. And he did. This was Caesar's character: confident, ruthless when necessary, and utterly fearless. Caesar first earned true power not in the Senate, but on the battlefield. In Gaul, he spent nearly a decade fighting brutal campaigns. His legions marched through forests, rivers, and frozen lands. They trusted him because he marched with them, ate like them, and bled like them. Victories followed one after another, and with every victory, his soldiers became more loyal. His fame grew. His enemies in Rome grew more afraid. Caesar didn't just conquer land. He conquered loyalty. Back in Rome, Caesar understood something most senators did not. The people were tired. They were tired of corruption, tired of endless debates, tired of a Senate that spoke but never acted. Caesar spoke directly to the masses. He cancelled debts. He rewarded veterans. He promised stability. To the elite, he was dangerous. To the people, he was a hero. This made him unstoppable. When the Senate ordered Caesar to disband his army and return to Rome as a private citizen, they expected obedience. Instead, Caesar stood at the edge of a small river, the Rubicon. Crossing it with an army meant civil war. Caesar paused only for a moment, then he crossed. With that single decision, he declared, "The die is cast. Rome would never be the same again." After defeating his rivals, Caesar returned victorious. The Senate had no choice. They named him Dictator for life. At first, Caesar claimed he only wanted to reform the Republic. He restructured the calendar, expanded citizenship, reduced corruption. But power has a way of changing perception. Soon, Caesar no longer asked the Senate. He informed it. Senators stood when he entered. His image appeared on coins while he was still alive. To many Romans, one terrifying thought became impossible to ignore. Caesar was no longer a servant of the Republic. The Republic was becoming a servant of Caesar. Whispers spread through Rome. He wants to be king. He acts like a god. He will end the Republic. Some senators feared losing power. Others feared losing Rome itself. And among them was one man who admired Caesar, but feared what he was becoming. That man was Brutus. And for him, the question was no longer if Caesar was dangerous, but how long Rome could survive him. Rome carried a trauma it never forgot. Kings. Centuries earlier, Rome had expelled its last king and sworn an oath that shaped its identity. Never again. Caesar was not officially a king, but his behavior awakened Rome's deepest fear. The Senate no longer debated, it approved. The people cheered Caesar and mocked the Senate. The legions were loyal not to the state, but to Caesar himself. The Republic still existed on paper, but its spirit was fading, and a terrifying realization spread through Rome. If this man lives, the Republic dies. Marcus Junius Brutus was not an ordinary senator. His bloodline traced back to the man who overthrew Rome's last king. For Brutus, freedom was not an idea, it was an inheritance. And here lay the tragedy. Caesar had forgiven him. Caesar had promoted him. Caesar had protected him. Brutus admired Caesar, but he feared what Caesar was becoming. Brutus believed in Stoic philosophy. The state must stand above the individual, and every night the same question haunted him. Can Rome survive if Caesar lives? The man who shattered Brutus's hesitation was Gaius Cassius Longinus. Cassius was not emotional. He was precise. He told Brutus, "This is not betrayal, this is surgery. One heart must stop beating to save the body of Rome." From that moment on, the decision was no longer personal. To Brutus, it became a sacrifice. Warnings came. Prophecies were spoken. Caesar's wife Calpurnia begged him not to go. But Caesar entered the Senate anyway. He was surrounded. The first blade struck, then another. 23 wounds. And then Caesar saw Brutus. According to legend, he whispered, "You too, Brutus." At that moment, Caesar stopped resisting. Rome's most powerful man died at the heart of Rome itself. Caesar was dead, but was the Republic saved? No, the people revolted. Civil war erupted. Brutus and Cassius were defeated. Both took their own lives, and then came history's cruelest irony. Augustus became Rome's first emperor, which means the assassination meant to save the Republic gave birth to the empire. Was Brutus a traitor, or was he an idealist who sacrificed everything for Rome? The most dangerous betrayals are often committed with the purest intention.